Hey guys, today's video is going to be this really cute triangle box. It opens up, there's space in there for party favor of some sort. This box was really fun to do. When I found the instructions for this, the lady was really great at helping you get this all together really quickly, but there was a lot of paper waste. You were only able to get one of these out of a 12 by 12 piece of paper, which seemed surprising to me given that the end product is so small. So I wanted to rework the numbers as best I could to see if I could get more out of my designer series paper or double-sided paper that I use, because I don't like to waste the paper. So I came up with this version, which as you can see is just a little bit smaller. It's not a whole lot smaller, but when I did this, I was able to get two out of one 12 by 12 piece of paper, and I had an entire section left at the bottom for scrap that would have been usable for something else, even another card at that point. So to me, this won out over this, mainly for the use of paper, and I didn't have so much trash. So today we're going to hopefully show you how to make these in a little bit smaller, more efficient way. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get a piece of double-sided paper. I'm using a piece of paper from the Die Cuts with a View paper pack. It's called Perry and Peach. And the first cut we're going to make on this piece of paper, you're going to take your 12 by 12 piece of paper and you're going to cut your first cut at 7 1/4. So 7 1/4 inches. And this whole piece is left over. So this will even make another card. This is quite a bit of leftover paper that we didn't have when we did it the other way. Then your next cut is going to be to cut this to 6 inches. So you have 7 1/4 by 6 inches. So these will each make their own individual triangle box and all of the decorative pieces that you're going to put on it, if we do this right. So the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to do some scoring. So take your piece of paper, and on your 6-inch side of paper, you want to score this at 1 1/2. And at 4 1/2. Now we're going to turn this so that it's on the 7 1/4 inch side, and you're going to score this at 1 3/4. You're going to score it at 4 1/4, and then you're going to score it at 6 1/4. And that's all the scoring that we need to do. So now we're going to cut some of this off. And this is where on this other larger box there was just so much waste that you almost felt bad doing it that way. So with the score mark that leaves the smaller amount of paper at the bottom, you're going to cut up to the second score line. So you're going to cut this square here. Actually, I guess it's a rectangle, isn't it? You're going to come all the way up to that score line. And cut that tab out. And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. So just go straight up to that score line and then in. So we have like a big blocky looking T. We're going to flip it and we're going to cut these top portions of our T off as well. So you're going to come down to that first score line, excuse me, and then in. Let's take that off. and again on the other side. There we go. Now we have something that looks somewhat like a cross. Now you're going to want to save all these because we're going to use them to decorate the rest of this box. Now on these tabs that you have here, you're going to want to find the middle of that tab, and that is roughly 2.5 inches. So you're going to want to make a pencil mark at halfway. So that would be 1 1/4. And then on the other one, I'm going to come in 1 1/4. Now, I do this scoring with the track on my trimmer because it's just a lot easier. You're going to want to line up that mark that you made at the halfway point in the track, and then you want this corner in the track as well. So we're going to be scoring essentially a triangle shaped piece right on the corner of this. So you just want to take your score and just real gently kind of score a triangle that way, and then turn it, line up your mark in the top and the corner in the bottom. Whoop. And score that too. And then do the same thing with the other side. This little box is really actually very easy to put together once get it figured out. Downsizing it to the smaller size with the measurements was a little tricky because I'm not great at maths. It was kind of a trial and error type of thing. I just made one and went, oh, I hope that works. Okay, so I'm not sure if that's very visible, but you can see your triangular score lines there. So now we get to decide which side we want on the outside of our box. And I think I'm going to make the dark blue flowers on the outside because I like the way the polka dots look on top of it. Yeah, I think that's the way I'm going to do it. So now we're just going to fold all of these score lines, kind of line it up as well as you can. Erase your pencil marks there on those little corners. So now, this is going to be, this is the front of it. So we're going to glue, make sure I do this right. All right, excellent. So on your tabs that you folded in with the longer section facing that way, you're going to want to put glue on these two tabs. Edge nice and straight. So you get a nice crisp edge on your box. some glue sort of squish out there, didn't I? These tabs kind of free float inside there. And that essentially is the basics of that triangle box. Now the exciting part to me about this was that I had pieces of paper here that were big enough to decorate with. Now, for some people this might make or break the deal, but there is a little bit of a score line left on this piece of scrap. So I take my scoring tool and I kind of burnish that out. This piece is going to be, you know, on the back. And it helps if your opposing pattern is real busy. You can barely see that score line. You're going to really have to twist it and turn it and get it in the right light to see it. But as you can see, we've got more than enough to trim this down and make it fit here on the front and on the top. And then what I even did was I cut these to squares and turned them into triangles and stuck them on each side. So then I have essentially used all of the scrap that I cut off to then decorate the box. And it works really great. I still have a whole nother piece of paper to do another box with, as well as this much left of that 12 by 12 sheet. So it worked out really good. So that's it. I'm going to finish putting the finishing touches on this, and I hope that helps you make the best use of your paper. Thanks.